Can you just talk about Park's debut and what you liked about him tonight?
Well, I thought Kevin showed what we've been seeing in practice, for the last couple months here. He's very explosive. He can run. He can run away from people, and he can run over people. And just so I'm happy for him because you kind of waited his time, with the backs we had last year and got bigger, faster, stronger, and then had an opportunity to go out there today and do some pretty neat things. I'm happy for the success of him, but for the success of the entire team. It's a very good win for the program. It's our first win. Your first wins are always the best wins because you have an opportunity for another one the next game up, but particularly against a team that's arguably the best FCS team in the country. But at this stage of the program we're at, we're trying to win games, and that was a good start for us this year.
Hey, Mike, your thoughts on Michael Rocco's play?
Mike, I believe he was like 14 for 18 or something like that. Distributed the ball and kept some drives moving. The first half, I think we were 3 for 10 on third downs. Would have liked a better production from that, but I think picked it up in the latter part in the second half. He's like I said, he'll get better like all these other young guys will get better. It's exciting to see him having an opportunity to either hand the ball off or throw it to some young guys that can go get it done.
What's the advantage to maybe having a lead like that late in the game and being able to do some things you wouldn't have been able to do in a close game?
Well, we're just playing football. We weren't. We're running the plays. We weren't trying to get out. And if we got out ahead, we weren't going to try to, just run a bunch of plays. We're going to run our offense because we got a lot of guys that need to learn how to play football. Need to learn how to execute our offense. And that, whether it was a close game or lead, a big lead, whatever it was, we're just going to run our offense and give guys opportunities to hear the plays being called in huddle and executing the blocks that are needed to make it work.
Anybody who saw that 2009 game, which I guess you did not, knows that 7 turnovers doomed Virginia that night. It seemed as if the early throws for Rocco were of the safe variety and that was a priority for you tonight, not turning the ball over?
Well, it's always a priority not to turn the ball over, Doug, but I think the biggest thing is we were taking what they gave us. I mean, they're a 3-deep team that plays corners off. And, so we made the throws that the coverage dictated for us to make. So, always protecting the ball is critical. And, we had a couple of opportunities for turnovers ourselves. There were an interception and young Trey Nicholson, and that's why he's playing. I thought he did an outstanding job today for a true freshman to play against an offense that's known for prolific passing attack. So just very pleased overall with how the team played.
There was some heavy criticism in-house, out-of-house with your defense last year. They get 4 first downs in the first half. How impressive was that?
Well, Coach Reed and the rest of the defensive staff have done a lot of things to shore up our defense. And I know, earlier he said, maybe we were too simple. But I think tonight they did some things that, they let guys come off the edge, did some line stunts, did some different coverage looks. I mean, just things that I think that played to our advantage and let the guys play aggressively. So, it's a credit to the defensive staff. And I know they, you never – in the back of their mind, they wanted to have the shutout there. But, it's at one time I looked up, there were 7 freshmen playing when they scored. So, Coach Reed can get over that, I think. But, just they played hard, and they practice like we have something to prove, and we do. This whole team has something to prove. And game number 1 is over. Now we're looking forward to game number 2.
Coach, how much is the last William & Mary game weighing on some of the older guys' minds?
Not the only thing that they remember is when number 2 had an interception and ran through the tunnel, all the way through the tunnel. We showed them that clip about 50 times, and that was the only thing we showed them. So enough said. And now this is a new team this year. We played a new team for them, and all that mattered what happened today, not what happened 2 years ago.
And Mike, 16 players made their debuts today, many of them freshmen and sophomores. What does that say about the potential and the future of this team?
Well, hopefully the future is bright. When you have young guys, the good news is they're young and they're talented and they can make plays. The bad news is they're young and they're talented and they might make mistakes. But that's where we are right now with this program, with the ones that are playing, and hopefully with the class that we're recruiting now, that we just continue to keep trying to improve ourselves in every aspect, and then turn this thing completely around.
Did the way the game played out allow you to play David Watford more than you thought you would heading in? And I guess if you could evaluate his overall performance.
I think David got about the reps that we were planning to get him. You know, it was kind of dicey there coming out on the 20-yard line. You know, got a little nervous with a couple things, but then he settled down later. So, and we'll continue to put him in the game in different spots, but he'll continue to play, and we'll continue to do some things to try to utilize his skills. They did a great job on the read option, not read option, but a read play that he made famous in practice. But I tell you, he made a couple good throws there. You see the kind of arm that he has. So we'll just continue to keep developing him and picking and choosing the spots is when we put him in the game.
Coach, could you go to that first drive of the second half where you had to go 97 yards? What kind of a building block or a confidence booster is that for a quarterback and an offense in the first game?
Well, Wes, I think it's about execution. I think it's about moving the football. I think it's about making the correct throws, the correct reads. I think it's about angles and gap blocking and blocking your guy. And as you saw, the guys just kind of moved the ball and kept getting first downs, and that's all that mattered, just keep getting first downs. And, if you can go you can go the distance like that, I mean, that speaks to the efficiency of the offense. And, so I'm very, very pleased with the offense, the way they handled that drive, and that's what it's supposed to look like. So now we have a model of what it's supposed to look like, and now we got to continue to keep trying to, execute, plays no matter what type of defenses are being called, execute the blocking schemes and making the throws that the coverage dictates that we make. So it was good to see that that's what we did on that particular drive.
Right.
Coach, did the game itself dictate some of the freshmen that you played tonight, or did you guys go in with the mindset of these are the kids we're going to play tonight regardless?
No, we talked about it during the week, and there was 10 to 12 true freshmen that we were going to talk about that we're going to play, and I believe they did. And there's about 6 redshirt freshmen. When you include Kevin Parks and Draquan Hosky, Henry Coley, and so they're in the mix, and they're in the mix now. So we're kind of a veteran team with a young guys that are in backup roles and depth roles and in particular packages that we have for them to come in. That's the type of team we are this year.
Mike, what specifically about Trey can you tell me dictated that he could be the first true freshman to start on defense in 8 years? He has a tremendous amount of confidence in his ability without being braggadocious, without being, conceited. I mean, he's a very quiet, unassuming young man that loves to play the game. He'll be a future captain here. He can run, and he'll come up and hit you. I mean, there's so many things that he has that that we just kind of knew when we were recruiting him that this is a guy these are the type of players that you want to come and come to Virginia and play. And he held his own out there. A couple deep balls. He was on top of the deep ball throws, the interception. Couple come up, make good stops on some tackles and cover two calls. So I just think the future is bright for him because he loves football.
Mike, it's still a 10-0 game before Randolph kicks the field goal at the half. Nice little lift going into the half, and what about his kicking in general?
I thought Robert did an excellent job. You're always concerned about where the cliff, when we say cliff, where the offense has the ball. Sometimes, if you're at the 20 or the 25, and during camp, Robert is, he's kicked some 52-yarders, 54, 55, which means the cliff was up there near the 30, 32, 33, and so we could just move the ball and get to that point. If we couldn't get the first down, then we were more determined to kick long field goals using his legs. In the past we've used Chris Hinkebine to do that, but I think Robert, was kind of the kicker of maybe 2 years ago when he was a Lou Lee Groza Award candidate. I think he kicked the ball well today.
Mike, 240 yards rushing. Looks like it's your kind of football game. Can you just talk about the running game tonight in general?
Well, Jerry, I think that's one of the strengths we talked about has to be with the play up front with the offensive line. I think we have the type of runners that can hit it downhill or can jump cut and try to get to the outside. And we have to be a team that's able to run the ball, because if you can run the ball, then you'll be able to set up the play action passes, and that's our game, being able to do that. And you have a group of veteran guys that are coming back that are playing up in the front, and they should be able to. We're relying on them to provide some running yardage for us, and I think we have a talented group of running backs, whoever it is back there that can get us the yardage that we need.